I will hold everything, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
That's very, very secure. That's probably decent.
And if we try to
white.
solve it tactically, something like if we play rook e8 at some point.
With the idea of f5 check or something, yeah, but probably gf will always happen. Okay, let's go back a bit.
Okay, here in this position we still have a problem with our bishop on f8. Maybe we can try to exchange this particular piece.
Or bishop... No, bishop e7 is a bit
No,
strange.
no need. No need.
Okay.
So
we do actually want to take on f6, right?
I start to think that bishop e7 was bad. Okay, it doesn't matter. I think bishop g7, because in case of knight h5 we can even try to play bishop h8.
Yeah, that was my intention. If knight h5 I wanted to go to h8, and now after king e4 I have a feeling something will be found. It's less, you know, it's less secure. But I actually even here I can't see a direct refutation.
Here we can
of
start
this.
with rook d7, rook d8, but okay, white can answer with rook d3. But here we can go back to something like knight f6.
Maybe. Once again we're carried away, getting carried away a little bit.
Okay, we need
This
to care.
This means that bishop e7 is also a move.
The most precise? Suddenly, yeah.
Maybe, yeah, we think that...
So exchanging...
The point is, if you take on e7, the pawn on c4 actually seems like it cannot be protected
it's
at
lost.
all.
It's lost. But e5 is falling down right now. But okay, I think if you take on e5, I will take back at least 2 pawns. Okay, I can even play... Yeah.
Rook a8,
rook a8, rook e4, rook c4.
Followed by rook a4, and
maybe bishop c3 was better. Bishop c3, rook e4, rook e1. I mean, this is okay.
But I think I want to keep
I mean,
the
it's...
rook
you're not going to solve all the problems.
No, this is quite clearly not good
yeah, and
for
also
white.
e5 will fall if bishop goes far away. Yeah, that's...
So what do we do after bishop e7?
That's a problematic.
Can we still play king e4?
Okay, I just wanted to take on f6.
I understand. My question was, can I
here
do this?
the king on e4 is no more safe, I would say.
I understand, but how do we exploit it? I want to play knight e7 check.
We can even, I think we can even take on d5. Can't we? And king d6. Okay, this looks stupid.
Looks like a very strange position.
I mean, of course we could try to find a better way to do this.
But I think it's good
but
for
you wanted
black
to play
actually.
rook e8, knight e7? Or what? And to try to escape?
I'm not quite sure. Starting with rook e8 was also very possible.
I mean, if you play knight e7 here, okay, it just takes. Okay, anyway, it's an extra pawn. And it's... and I think
no,
white can't
this is
protect.
not good for white, yeah. This is...
Just
maybe you can make a draw, but this is...
This is just worse.
Yeah, you're clearly worse with, you know, draw...
Yeah,
unclear, you know, it's not at all a convincing way to draw. So what's the response then?
Why did we reject from bishop e7 or bishop g7 idea in previous position?
We did not look at it, I think. Is knight e3 the idea?
Found something wrong.
Can we do this?
Okay, I think we can... Okay, if we take and play rook b8, okay, then... Or maybe rook b8 immediately. But okay, then anyway you... and here there's the difference. Now e5 is hanging. I think we go rook d to b8. I think that's fine. And in case of rook b1, just rook b4 is very unpleasant. Maybe it's not as unpleasant as I try to show right now, but it looks like, okay,
yeah, if
black is taking some...
If the rook lands on b3, it becomes really awkward for white.
Okay,
So I wanted to go knight fg5 here to sort of reconnect my knights, but now after rook b3, it will be quite hard to get rid of that rook, actually. I mean, you can exchange one, but then the other one appears.
And if I go for something like king e4, if I ignore this rook, what's the next move I go? Okay, maybe knight f4 will work sooner or later. Okay, now we shouldn't blunder e7 bishop. So I get
I think I play bishop f8, and I just claim that, you know, my...
Okay, black is improved in white.
Yeah, my activity on the queen side. But
and then bishop g7 at some point, yeah?
Maybe I can play rook b1
okay,
here,
rook
though.
b8.
But then I will take on a5.
You're not afraid of getting mated in the middle of the board, huh?
And this is probably okay for white, right? It's very, very important for white to get rid of this a5 pawn, because this ensures that there will not be an outside passer later in the game, even if the pawn on a4
Yeah, especially
falls.
when you take this pawn for nothing. Yeah, it's also always a good trade. Okay, well, so after rook b1 we should try to find something else. Okay, let's start with bishop e7 and then
Bishop e7, I went knight e3.
knight e3, and here maybe we should take a look.
I went knight e3, and is rook d4 move?
Wow. If it works, that's awesome. And looks like it works.
No, it probably doesn't, because I can play knight d5 here.
Okay, then it doesn't.
Very sad.
I'm here to agree with you.
Yeah, very sad, because it's... Or maybe even knight c2 is
Yeah, okay, that's
even stronger.
That's fancy.
But it was a nice idea whilst
I think
you know.
after instead of this, maybe we can take and play knight a4 to play knight a4 immediately. Because now you let me take this.
There are some squares, yeah. h3 is potentially hanging.
And h4 is not making any serious.
But okay, I don't want to give up.
Sense.
I don't want to give up the h pawn for nothing. So let's play h4 and see what it brings us.
Maybe we can push further with knight d3.
Let's say
I don't know where do I go.
I occupy the...
Okay. I think that was a bad idea. We should start with something like rook b8.
Which one?
I don't know. That's a good question. It's a tricky position. I mean, I can't.
It's still a very tricky position for both players. Yeah,
I mean, it's very much precise calculation.
A question from the Twitter sphere, Jan and Peter. In your opinion, which players, past and current, have had the best endgame technique? You start.
Okay, I would make my bet on the current world champion, because his endgame. I mean, it's not about technique, but the way he plays some endgames is really impressive.
I would most definitely agree with that. I remember my first... the first time I really thought I was watching something remarkable in action was we were playing not very far from here in Foros. I will be hard-pressed to remember the year, but something like maybe 05 or 06, I'm not sure. We were playing a closed tournament, and Magnus was invited, as were most of the Ukrainian top players, and also Alexei Shirov was playing in that tournament. And Alexei Shirov is another name which I think should crop up in this discussion at some point. He's a very, very strong endgame player, has played a number of fantastic endgames over the past 15 years. And out of the opening, it was a Catalan, and out of the opening, Magnus got a position in which black had a slightly spoiled pawn structure, but it was a 7 against 7 endgame with no actual weaknesses, just a doubled pawn somewhere on the king side, I think, for black, and 2 rooks and opposite color bishops. And to my eyes, the position looked perfectly ready to go have a swim, to be honest. And Magnus continued playing, and for a while I thought, okay, the kid must really like chess, because I don't really see why he's continuing. And about five hours later, he won a very, very precise endgame. He continued putting up small questions, waiting for Alexei to commit some kind of inaccuracy somewhere. I'm pretty sure the original position when the endgame appeared was almost entirely equal. But it wasn't equal when the game finished, and that was, I think, was the first time when I thought to myself, I am watching something I haven't seen before, because when I was his age, I would occasionally create very, very nice attacking, brilliant games, you know, where I would sacrifice half the chess set and give mate somewhere. But playing endgames like that at his age was not something that many people can do.
Yeah.
In terms of overall chess history, it's hard to say. I mean, Smyslov is a name I think many people would mention in this context. Karpov, perhaps. But generally speaking, I think most world champions, to get to where they are, had to develop.
Yeah, you know the problem normally the problem is to get to this good to this good endgame through another parts of the game, yeah. And once you got this nice advantage in the endgame, okay, then normally you should be good. If at least you have a world champion, yeah, you know.
What I meant to say is that once you start considering people from a certain level up only, those people are generally all very good all-round players with no actual weak sides, and you know, choosing the best out of them in one area of the game will be quite hard.
It's much like the question about name the most talented.
Yeah,
around.
it's very similar. Yeah, you start creating a list like that, and then some people will be left off, and people will become upset, you know. And there was actually a lot of complaints to the list.
Yeah, it will just echo some more questions from, okay, why didn't you name this guy or that guy, and so on.
So back to the game. Vish is still thinking, which is
-0.3 is what I see right now.
Yeah, that's what it says on the screen, but we have no idea why. So we should try and
guess the move.
We should try and work out what we think is the best here.
Or bishop g7, or bishop e7.
Bishop e7 and bishop g7 are both very concrete, as are knight f4. I mean, to a lesser degree, knight e7. I think knight e7, king e4 is the least.
So
is the least attractive option of.
How did we refute this bishop g7? Knight h5, I think, yeah. Bishop h8, hit king e4.
I think that's what I did, yeah.
That was.
But also, I want
strange.
to say that since I played knight e3 after bishop e7, maybe I can play knight e3 here as well. But it's less attractive because I will never be able to play knight fg5 because e5 will be hanging.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's check knight h5, bishop h8, and let's centralize.
I wonder what is your next move.
I have no idea. f4
Okay.
maybe? But I don't really want to play f4.
f4? Okay, just take
It loses
f4.
material.
Yeah, it loses material.
What is your
Okay,
next
now
move?
e5 is hanging, so I can. I think I can play rook a to b8 maybe. For now, because since bishop takes a5 is not a big threat. Yeah, but still, I think you can take on a5, and after bishop takes e5, let's say something like knight e7 might work. I mean, to simplify the
Takes.
position. Okay, this is not so.
I mean, the king goes towards g7 actually.
Yeah. Okay, let's say it takes. Okay. But I mean,
We
this
should probably take one
maybe
pair of rooks off
yeah.
actually.
not to get mated. That's one spot.
Yeah, take on d8 and play king f6, knight g5, king g7.
Or king f7, okay. It's hard to find a good place to jump.
And the queen side is gone, but so will be the
Yeah.
king side in a moment. So white should probably hold here, but I mean it's an incredibly wild variation, which once again probably has no relation to
Yeah.
what will happen on the board.
Which he's thinking, and he's spending.
Well,
think
it's a
He's going to spend the most of his time here, I think, because it's.
he senses that
Yeah,
he might have a
can-
chance now.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to spoil it, because if he plays inaccurately from here, white probably will be able to consolidate somehow.
Okay, what else instead of bishop g7 and bishop e7? Is there any
Well,
kind
rook,
of
rook
ideas?
b8.
Okay, bishop c8, bishop a6, but this is
No, too slow.
too deep,
Too weak, too slow.
too weak, too slow. Okay.
Um,
Is it too slow? Is it really too
I don't
slow?
know. Let's say I'm gonna go king e4, bishop a6. I play knight e3. My
And now my knight goes to, okay, e6. Even if this is too slow, it's not too stupid, yeah?
well, I was
And maybe it's not too weak.
no. I just felt I need to try and use this expression because
Yeah, okay, the expression was perfect.
it's such an important meme of today's chess.
So I think I would like to see. No, wait. Here you can also play bishop b7 later on, and give
Yeah.
you.
No, maybe, but it's not the
And a
most
peasant
natural idea in
Okay,
the
okay.
position.
It will never happen in the game.
And also, maybe if I do nothing here and you play bishop a6, maybe e6 will be possible. So
I think if you play e6, I just take and play bishop d6,
that's also true.
and maybe c4 is more important. But okay, I don't know. It doesn't look. Okay, of course, bishop c8 is a move I would never play in my own game. But
Yeah, you only
why not to offer this move here?
yeah, it occurs to you